We arrive in Antananarivo, which is the capital city of Madagascar. The presence of Martin, Gibson, and Taylor guitars, along with Greenpeace and Tropical Forest Trust in Madagascar, validates the fact that there is a market for specialized lumber, which in turn strengthens the efforts being made to set up an FSC certification network. We visited a local guitar manufacturer where Rob was able to sit in on a jam session with the local boys. It's really amazing how they can produce these instruments with the basic materials and tools that they have to work with. We enjoyed our visit and were enriched by their music and love for guitars. We visited the Queen's Summer Palace and enjoyed the views before walking to the local restaurant for lunch, where we were entertained with traditional music and dancing. It set the scene for the rest of the trip, and we were lucky to have had the opportunity to experience such a great cultural event. We catch a flight from Tana to Maroantsetra. Maroantsetra is located on the northeast coast of Madagascar at the far end of the Bay of Antigua. It is a sleepy, friendly town bathed in the fragrance of vanilla and cloves, and is considered Madagascar at its most authentic. It is the gateway to the awesome wilderness of the Masoala National Park.
It's a beautiful place we're at, and we're on the way to town.
Hi. The village life in this area is rich and full of tradition. Raising zebu, ducks, and chickens, growing rice and vegetables, building thatched huts and dugout canoes, the locals in this area seem to be very content and happy. Being a Westerner living in the fast lane, this way of life has a charm and serenity far apart and all its own.
You catch a fish? Hey, oh, I got you. I got you. Oh, hey.
At the WCS headquarters, we met to discuss the activities on the Masoala Peninsula and on the Makura Protected Area. It's a huge effort that is being dealt with on many levels by a lot of dedicated professional people. Today we suit up in our rain gear and prepare to board the boats for a trip up the Antananarivo River. We will be meeting with local officials and observing the Malagasy lifestyle along the riverbanks. Madagascar is one of the world's poorest nations, with a per capita income of approximately $240 per year. About 80% of the population are subsistence farmers, many of whom depend entirely upon natural capital to support their way of life. They gave us a warm welcome as we made landfall at their village. A short walk to the village center to meet with the mayor gave us the opportunity to get a snapshot of their way of life here. Over the years, governments have made efforts to modernize Madagascar's economy. Despite such efforts, the majority of Malagasy continued to earn their livelihoods in ways fundamentally unchanged from those of their ancestors. We made 2 treks into the rainforest to see firsthand some of the trees that can be harvested for musical instruments. Working with communities and forest contract holders to establish FSC certified forests will play a big part in the preservation and sustainability of these endangered forests. The first humans arrived on Madagascar around 2,000 years ago, most likely using outrigger canoes hailing from India, Africa, and Arabia. The newcomers were greeted by dense rainforests and an abundance of wildlife. Strange monkey-like creatures known as lemurs, dwarf hippos, giant tortoises, 10-foot-tall elephant birds, and over 100 other exotic species of animal found nowhere else in the world. Madagascar is irreplaceable. Split from the African continent over 160 million years ago, this island country developed its own distinct ecosystems and extraordinary wildlife. Today we're all packed up and will fly to Antala to visit an ebony processing mill. We will then continue on to Ambatondrazaka to explore the forest and meet with the local officials. We will be discussing the process for obtaining FSC certification on their sustainable forest products. One of Madagascar's greatest environmental problems is soil erosion. deforestation of Madagascar's central highlands has resulted in widespread soil erosion. After completing our tour, we soon came to the realization that the villagers will need an extensive training program to learn how to cut and produce high-value lumber. Madagascar is facing intense pressure from growing human population. More people need more firewood, charcoal, and areas for grazing, all of which are causing widespread clearing of habitat in both the forest and the thicket areas of the West. As members of the MusicWood Coalition, we are in support of obtaining FSC certification for any of the woods that we might use for Madagascar. This will be a big challenge on many levels for the Malagasy, and it will most likely be 3 to 5 years before any quality certified music wood can be exported. As we head back to Antananarivo and the end of our journey, we can't help but think about the beauty and simplicity of this country. The friendly people, the timeless culture, and the clean air all add up to a paradise like no other. There are many environmental issues being addressed by a lot of dedicated people, and progress is being made on many levels to protect the future of Madagascar. We have been fortunate to be able to experience a way of life that is only found in very remote locations of the world these days. We will continue to support the environmental projects and will never forget the experience we had in Madagascar.